Hello, hello, hello. My name is Nicholas Rivas, and I do videos on politics and stuff. And today we're going to be talking about UFC while playing some Evil Dead. I love this game. This game is incredible. I don't know what it is. I know I'm a sucker for asymmetrical horror, like Dead by Daylight or like the Friday the 13th game. I love games where there's like one person versus like four people, like a handicap match, and like WWE was always my favorite thing. In Mario Party, my favorite thing was like the 1v3 matches. I don't know. It's something about me. I think it's just those are just so much fun. But today we're not going to be talking about politics. We're going to be talking about something I want to start doing every Sunday is UFC Sunday, I guess. I don't know if I should even title it that, but I want to talk about the UFC cards that just occurred a few weeks ago. And of course, last night. But he had UFC 274, which showed Rose Namajunas versus Carla Esparza. I'm a big UFC guy. Like that's my go-to sport. Carla Esparza, Rose Namajunas, great fight. And Charles Oliveira versus Justin Gaethje, terrible fight. One of the worst I've ever seen. And then you had Michael Chandler versus Tony Ferguson. So like for those who didn't watch UFC, 274 was the most recent main card, and there was a fight night, which is like a smaller card with fighters who are kind of on a losing skid or just pretty new or just not as top yet. You know, they're maybe rising stars. So UFC 274, like UFC and then a number, is the big card, right? And the fight nights are smaller, usually with like little to no crowd. And so the 274 card I was really excited for because everyone on that card was pretty interesting. I mean, it was also in Phoenix, and my goal was to go, but we didn't get to make it, so I was a little sad on that. But the card itself was amazing. You had Tracy Cortez, a Phoenix fighter, who I was really excited to see. You had Charles Oliveira, one of my favorite fighters, fighting, and then Michael Chandler and Justin Gaethje, Tony Ferguson. All of those guys are people I just look up to in the fight world. Tony Ferguson is this legend, and he was fighting Michael Chandler. Both of them are on a losing skid. Michael Chandler is fairly new relative to everyone else on the card. Michael Chandler came in like 2-3 years ago from, I think, Bellator, a rival company. Michael Chandler is like this explosive fighter, pretty short, stocky, but takes on these like taller lightweights, and he usually dominates. He beat Dan Hooker, pretty good fighter. He fought against Justin Gaethje, one of the best fights I've ever seen, ever. Easily top three of all time. And then he fought Charles Oliveira, and he lost. But, you got to say, after seeing the Charles fight with Justin Gaethje and him, it's like Chandler gave Oliveira the most competition, both in grappling and in striking. Of course, Chandler lost, but I would be excited to see that run again. I would want to see them. I don't think Dustin or Justin. I just realized how close their names are, but I don't see them rivaling how Chandler did. It's I don't know. It's hard to pin. It's hard to pin because Charles is a beast, and I think anyone that can compete with him would have to be a grappler. Islam Makhachev, Beneil Dariush, those are the guys who I see giving him a lot more competition. But, we'll see because, Charles has been taken down with a strike, with a hit, every fight he's been in. He drops to the floor, and it looks like it's over, right? But, his grappling saves him. Not to say his striking isn't as good, but you can tell he doesn't know how to bob and weave his head as much as a regular striker would, right? He does take some hits that he shouldn't be taking, and we'll see how long that lasts. So I don't know. I was excited for the Ferguson Chandler fight, but I was like, I don't want to see Tony Ferguson lose because Tony was a champ. He was killing the division. He was supposed to fight the greats, but stuff happened. He was supposed to fight Khabib, but stuff happened, right? And then he fought Justin, and ever since then he's been on this losing skid where he's getting dominated by Charles, by Beneil Dariush, these very excellent fighters, but Tony was like the god, so it's crazy to see him on that skid. And then of course Chandler knocked him out with a front kick, which was beautiful, but I remember when I saw it, I'm like jaw drop, like what? So that hurt. And then the second fight before the main card was Carla Esparza versus Rose Namajunas. Awful fight. One of the worst fights I've ever seen. I want to say it's worse than Derek Lewis versus Francis Ngannou, but I don't know. I feel like Francis Ngannou and Derek Lewis, you felt like someone was going to get knocked out. Where this fight, there was a potential, right? Rose could knock out Carla, but it was going to be more technical, Carla was going to wrestle, and they were just scared of each other. No one did anything, and understandably, because Rose did lose to her in the past, but man, it just shows like having respect for a fighter can go so far. Like if you respect them too much, your fear is your biggest enemy. I mean, it's corny, but from the movie Creed, when he staring at the mirror and Rocky Balboa says, "Your biggest enemy is right there," and it's himself. It's the truth. Both of them were terrified of each other because Rose is a better fighter. Let's be real. I love Carla. She's a fucking legend, but Rose is the better fighter. She can strike. She can wrestle. I don't think people give her credit on her grappling, but I think she has great grappling. Just to see how she defended Carla's grapples, she did good, but she was scared. So they just circled each other for 25 minutes, and it hurt so much to watch. I mean, I remember just like playing on my phone, like I didn't really care about the fight. Now the Charles fight, whoo, I'm so hyped on that. That's gonna be a great fight. That's gonna be a great fight. That's all I kept saying to myself, right? And I knew Justin was going to bring a power punch, and he was also going to be smart. Justin was very smart. He let him get Charles back up. Charles took unnecessary damage because he could have, easily went down on the floor with him and had this, overconfidence. But, he was like, no. Every time he brought Charles down, Charles got hit with one of Justin's hits, and he would fall on the floor. Justin was like, no, get up. Fight. Take me striking. But that was a detriment because you underestimated Charles striking to the point where you're getting, stricken, and you quit defending your neck, and bam, he got your neck. Like, that's the beauty and intelligence of Charles Oliveira. It's sad to see that he didn't get his weight. For those who didn't see, he missed his weight. It was big. Everyone was going crazy. Charles missed his weight by like 0.5 pounds. I'm usually mad at fighters when they do that, and I might be biased because I love Charles. He's inspired me to do jiu-jitsu. So I'm definitely sitting with the biases here, but damn, I wish he would. I wish they just gave him his belt. It hurt. It hurts to take that belt away from losing just 0.5 pounds. But all that being said, it was a great card. Been meaning to talk about it, just to gush about how fun it was and how boring the Rose fight was. But I wanted to talk about too the most recent fight night. Was just insane. I mean, I didn't watch every single fight on the card. I wasn't too keen on every fighter because I don't really know too much about them. But Jan is a great fighter, and I tell people, Jan is a superstar, man. This guy can fight. And then see, when I got hooked on him, I think where everyone got hooked on him is when you saw that behind the scenes of him training, and he goes into the woods where he found a guy who hung himself, and he used that rope to put on his bracelet that he now carries with him. So he has this aura of like a dead man. A man who perished with him as he trains and fights. It's just, you can't make this up. You can't make this up. Like when Piotr Jan fought and he had his little vlog, that was the funniest thing ever because everyone was like, this is hilarious. Like they're making Piotr Jan look like, in the behind the scenes videos from UFC, they're making him look like Michael Myers. He's like, stalking people in the woods. It's funny. Where the videos like with Jan, I was like, oh my God, this guy's a monster. So I was glad to see him come back from a win. Or come back from that loss, like he did need this win. But I love Rakic, and I think he'll be back. It's sad to see an injury. Nobody wants to see a fight and an injury, but what are you gonna do, right? That's just part of the sport, I guess. But yeah, I just can't wait to see what Jan does, and I think Jan is gonna take Glover in the next fight. I can't see the division giving him anyone else. I mean, I honestly thought Rakic would be the go-to. So I didn't mean to dismiss Jan, but I think it's gonna be Glover versus Jan. I mean, if Jiri wins against Glover Teixeira and takes the lightweight belt, Jan definitely should fight Jiri because I've been wanting them to fight. Like I thought they were. Of course, everyone thought when Glover beat Jan, everyone was surprised. So we'll see. But yeah, gush about UFC in the comments. I love it. Y'all be safe. New videos every other day.